Hi, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to do an interesting little test drive. I'm joined by my good friend Grahame and his new Ev6.
Hello.
Go check out his channel, which is The Joy of Ev6 for all things Kia. And today we are starting off here in Livingston at one of the Osprey chargers outside the Chain Runner pub and a Starbucks coffee. And we're going to head down
About 100 miles.
about 100 miles or so, cross the border into England for a quick test, and we're going to go to the Ionity chargers there. And one advantage the Enyaq's got in this lovely Scottish weather is you get an umbrella. But other than that, I think he's probably got the edge with his bigger battery and all his fancy Kia efficiency. Anyway, join us on the journey later on and we'll see. Okay, so we are good to go almost. Both cars charged to 75%. Both cars will be put on eco mode. We're going to set the climate control on to 19.5 degrees, aircon on just so we can demist the cars, make sure they stay nice and clear. And we've got on a better route planner, it's showing 2 hours 9 minutes, 103 miles to go down to Alnwick, and hopefully, given that we're both at 75% charge, that will give us a low enough state of charge that we can both get a reasonably fast charge from the Ionity. Certainly on the Enyaq, I need to be at 20% in order to get the full 100 kilowatt charging from the Ionity network. So it's a pretty miserable day. I doubt we'll do much filming along the way. If the weather forecast turns out to be as bad as predicted, we might end up having to stop for a quick top up depending on how brave we feel. We know there's a couple of Osprey chargers along the route, so we'll just see how we get on. Otherwise, hopefully, join us in Alnwick at the Ionity chargers. Yeah, and the car is slowing itself down because it knows where this roundabout is. It knows I need to slow down for it, and so it does it for me. That's just on manual driving, not on autopilot. Great system, really good system. Has yours got a rear wiper, or are you like the Ioniq?
I'm like the Ioniq, but better.
You like the Ioniq but better? You mean you've got a rear wiper?
I've not got a rear wiper, but the high pressure is a lot more efficient on this because of the shape of the windscreen.
Alright, got you.
No one looks out the rear window anyway, right?
What was that?
Nobody looks out the rear window anyway, right?
So it looks like we've got 4 free chargers at Alnwick.
Oh, is it telling you that, is it?
Oh yeah, shows up on screen. 4 green segments of the circle around the charger. That means there's 4 free. So it shows you in the centre the speed of them, so there's 350 kilowatt chargers, and it shows you there's green means that they're free and red means they're occupied.
What's your stats looking like, Domhnall?
So I am sitting at 18 miles done, average speed 33 miles per hour, and efficiency 4 miles per kilowatt hour.
Roger that, we're 3.9 here.
Yeah, much closer than I thought. I reckon I could improve on the efficiency if I wasn't using autopilot, but that's the rules of the competition.
Indeed, and to be fair, on long journeys you wouldn't be driving manually, I would think anyway, just for fatigue.
Unless you were in a Tesla and didn't like phantom braking, in which case you drive manually everywhere.
Very true.
And look, the car's starting again all on its own.
It's possessed.
It's like magic, I tell you. And it's steering round the roundabout.
Mine is not. It's going, you can't do that, Grahame.
Yeah, mine only got a little excited there when the curve of the roundabout meant that the van in front momentarily was out of sight, in which case it decided to speed up, but only for half a second.
Right, we're back on auto steer now.
Yeah, on auto steer, 66% left.
69% range.
I've got 144 miles and 66%.
185 here. Obviously you've got a smaller battery.
Yep, and it's forecasting I'll arrive with 24%.
Let me get back to you on the stats. Casting 22% left.
Alright, in the time it took you to find that out, mine's decided it's going to arrive at 20%, which is bang on what I want.
Actually, I think that may be a lie, because it thinks I have 61% at the moment. I think Tronity's not updated.
Are you not better at using EV Notify?
Well, I've got Apple, unfortunately, and EV Notify doesn't work on Apple.
Ah, okay, I understand. So according to the GOM, I've got 103 miles left, 50% of the battery left.
Check-in here is 152 miles left on the GOM, 57% on the battery.
And yet a better route planner is insisting that in 55 miles time I'll only have 20% left. That's weird.
I'm thinking you're going to be driving about 99 miles an hour.
Yeah, I may actually have to turn the heating up big time in order to burn the battery off if we arrive there. It's too high a state of charge.
That's not going to be an issue for me, but yeah, certainly for you.
Oh, your fancy 800 volt charging.
Yeah, it's the future, don't you know? Unlike these legacy cars.
Yeah, but then you're going to have the problem that if you actually want to go and have something to eat or have a coffee, then your charge is going to be finished too fast.
Yeah, I'll basically drive to Gretna, plug in, walk across to the service centre from the BP garage, and then have to immediately walk back and unplug.
Yep, that's no use. You want a legacy car. Yeah, so a better route planner forecast we get here with 19. We've actually got here with 22, so I'm going to have to crank up the heating or something to burn off a bit of power just to lose that extra 2%. So we'll do that just now. So what have we got here facilities wise? We've got the Hog's Head Inn, which I think is where we're going to go and have some lunch. We've got a Morrison's with a barista bar, grab some coffee. And then we have a row of 4 Ionity chargers. We've got a Peugeot E208 and a Vauxhall Vivaro van charging on these at the moment. And it looks like that one might be out of use. So I might be out of luck in terms of charging here. There's no light on that charger. This could be a bit of a disaster. So nothing to worry about. The Ionity chargers are all working. We've arrived here, as you can see, 101 miles, 2 hours 21, 44 miles per hour average speed. As the roadworks and so on have slowed us down. 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour average. And we've arrived with 22% state of charge, which is slightly too high. So in terms of metric data, we've travelled 164 kilometres since we last charged, 70 kilometres per hour average speed, and the consumption has been 17.4 kilowatt hours for every 100 kilometres. So, as I said, the weather's been pretty poor, been against us. We've been driving into a strong headwind for the last certainly 40 minutes or so. So we'll see how we get on the return trip. Hopefully, unless the wind changes, we should have a tailwind, so we might get some better efficiency.
So on the Enyaq, currently charging at 72 kilowatts, 415 volts, so it's 400 volt architecture, so that's about right. The amperage looks a little bit low, and similar to what the Ev6 has, it's 174 amps at the moment. If we move along to the other charger that we're charging on, number 1, number 3 is broken. It looks like the van's not getting any charge there. Number 2 was being a bit funny, but probably working. We move to, on number 4, we are been on for 4 minutes, taking 7.89 kilowatt hours, 109 kilowatts speed. It was up quite high, but it's dropped down. In fact, we've just going up again here, 127 kilowatt, 755 volts, 170 amps. So it's quite interesting information on here. But it's interesting that the peak kilowatt seems to vary quite drastically. It's an odd one.
For some reason this site is limiting the charge that's available. In my case that means I'm only getting 70 kilowatts, so it's going to take me half an hour to get back to 80%, whereas the Ev6 is going to be 10 minutes to 80%.
From 128 kilowatt at the moment.
So it's a big difference. That shows you the advantage of spending an extra 16,000 pounds on your car.
Charge quicker.
It'll save you 20 minutes when you charge up.
We have no idea why the chargers were limited in speed, but they clearly were. We do know the Enyaq took 42 minutes to draw 33.5 kilowatts, and the Ev6 took 22 minutes to draw 40 kilowatts. So there's quite a difference there in terms of charging speed. But there is also quite a difference in terms of the cost of the two vehicles, with the Ev6 being considerably more expensive. Anyway, we'll end the video for there. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you can see when I upload part 2, the return leg, and you can see whether or not we did in fact get a tailwind on the journey back north.